Get the squad together for this year's Junior Grizzlies 3-on-3 tournament, presented by 2K at the Built Ford Tough practice facility inside FedEx Forum. On Saturday, January 4th, teams will compete in 3 games before advancing to single elimination play. Overall winners from the 10 and under, 12 and under, and 14 and under divisions will win Grizzlies tickets, including exclusive access to the pregame team shoot-around before the Grizz take on the Pelicans January 24th. Sign up today at hoopitup.com/Grizzlies.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right. I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish, speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready to stay up late tonight, because we got a West Coast showdown. Grizzlies and Kings in Sacramento, inside what they call the Golden One Center. 9 o'clock tip. We might push it to midnight tonight, Big Bet Vintage.
I like it.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I like it too. I like a good late night tip on a Friday night. We'll get into it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In about 20 minutes, at about 10:20, Jessica Benson's going to join me. She, of course, is the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurst. She's been popping around New York City, walking around, bragging about her step totals. You know somebody's been in New York City when they start bragging about their step totals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I've been doing 23,000 steps a day. Hey, join the club.
Yeah.
Join the club. Jessica Benson will be in here with me. I'll talk to her in the next segment. We'll finish talking to Jess. We're going to take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Penny Hardaway's Tigers, oh boy, went to Florida Atlantic last night and pounded Dusty May's old program. Won by 28 points, 90-62. Beat down in Boca. 9 wins inside the first 2 quadrants from Memphis. That leads the nation. We'll celebrate a dominant victory. We'll do it in about 40 minutes. Notre Dame beat Georgia in New Orleans to advance to the college football playoff semifinals. So it's Ohio State, Texas, and Notre Dame, Penn State in the semifinals of the first ever 12-team college football playoff. The Buckeyes are the favorites right now to win the national championship. We'll talk college football a little later on in the show. Kylie Kelce has addressed her haters. She decided she had something to say to her haters after becoming officially the biggest podcaster in the world.
That's crazy.
That's humbling, isn't it?
Good for her, yeah.
Isn't it? You think you're doing okay in life.
Yeah, you think you're doing good. And then someone just starts a podcast. Yeah.
Like literally just started a podcast and it's the biggest in the world.
I think I want to do this. Yeah.
Like, what am I even doing?
I know, man.
What are we doing? Are we wasting our lives?
I don't know. I'm having fun.
You start to think you're doing something, and then you realize you're not Kylie Kelce. It's a wild situation. I'll tell you about her deal. We'll do that in the third segment. Americans reportedly spent 23% less time, 23% less time on streaming services in the year 2024. Oh, ask Bennett why that is. I wonder if he's got some theories. We'll explore in the second hour. And there are now multiple studies showing that homicides were down both in Memphis and nationally in the year 2024. I think that runs counter to how most of us feel. I don't know if we feel that way, but the numbers are the numbers. We'll spend a few minutes on that during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's Carry Out, and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because Game 35 of scheduled 82, it's set for tonight in Sacramento. Grizz-Kings inside the Golden One Center. Tip is scheduled for 9 o'clock Central. Sacramento opened as a 4.5-point favorite. It's now, I know. That was my say.
I didn't know that.
Similar reaction. The number's now down to 3.5. Needless to say, I find it entirely disrespectful. Big Bet Bennett, I know Ja Morant and Marcus Smart and Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson and Santi Aldama are all out. And I know Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, Yuki Kawamura, Jake LaRavia are all questionable. I got at Grizzlies PR locked and loaded just like you do. But I don't like them being a 3.5-point underdog to a team that's 4 games below 500, just fired its coach. I got 4 syllables for you.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yep.
I got 4 syllables for you. Disrespectful. I think that's 4.
I think it is a little disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Granted,
their coach.
They've won 2 games in a row.
I don't care.
Maybe they've found their passion. They've got it back after firing their coach. I don't believe that. This will be interesting. Like, first off, you said it. I'm stoked. I love a good late night West Coast weekend game. There is nothing like it, buddy.
I mean, there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it. I will be fired up for this thing come 9 o'clock.
I'm be lit.
Yes. So I'm excited about this game.
I'm be turned.
And if you remember, when we played them, I think it was here at FedEx Forum. Ja got ejected in that last game. That game got testy. That last one against the Kings. So there's might be a little bad blood there.
Well, we went through a little thing. Where people were trying to act like De'Aaron Fox is better than Ja Morant. We went through that little thing.
I remember. And
now De'Aaron Fox might not want to be in Sacramento no more. And now they done fired the coach. They got their own little problems over there.
They
were feeling good, lighting beams and stuff.
Yeah,
they started to feel good for a minute. They were lighting beams and starting to feel good. But now you're back to being exactly what you are. Well, we know who you are.
You're the Kings.
Stop it.
Come on.
You had a minute where you tried to trick us and act like, okay, maybe they're not the Kings anymore. You're the Kings. All right? You're the Kings. You're the Kings forever and always.
No, in all seriousness, and I know we're talking about the Grizzlies, but I'm
talking about the Kings.
I don't understand the Mike Brown thing, them firing him. I mean, that you have not had a lot of success in the recent decades, and his tenure there, they did have success. I just don't understand that. I would have tried to ride that out. I know it started bad, but there's a lot of season left, and now you got the rumors that De'Aaron Fox might want to be moved somewhere else. Like I just maybe not have been so quick to blow that thing up.
I wouldn't have either. Yeah. And the reason is because Mike Brown is respected as a quality basketball coach.
Right.
Like you start polling basketball coaches, who do you think's really good? And like Mike Brown comes in, better than most. He had success in Sacramento. You cannot defend this season, what's been going on this season.
Right.
They've been worse than they should have been. But some of that might have just been personnel decisions that made them worse than what we expected them to be.
They have a history of bad ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then secondly, we're all watching the same NBA season. It is all filled with everything is like this.
That's right.
The Bucks are a joke and might need to fire Doc Rivers. Then they, look like real contenders in the East. The Warriors, oh man, have they found something again with Steph Curry and this? And then it's like, no, there'll never be anything. They need to make a move. Like
the Grizzlies at the very beginning of the season, it was like, is this going to work out?
These seasons flip around all the time.
Yeah.
And if you've got a core that you believe in, if it's going poorly, whether it's what we're watching in Milwaukee or other places, there tends to come a time where if you just let it ride out, it'll settle into what it should have been. I'm not saying that was guaranteed to happen in Sacramento. I don't know. I agree with you. I would not have pulled the trigger as quickly as they pulled it. And
because now it just appears to be headed for disaster.
Well, you reinforce what everybody else already thinks of you. Everybody already thinks you're a franchise that is run like amateur hour, and you have an owner who has more money than he has basketball sense, and an owner who isn't whatever enough to understand that if you've got more money than basketball sense, you should use your money to hire people with great basketball sense and get out of their way. And there's a lot of indications that this guy has never been able to properly do that. And so here we are again. Still, 3.5 point favorite.
4.5.
It was 4.5.
Is it 3.5 now?
It's down to 3.5.
So it's moving
now.
in our favor.
It's moving in our favor. But still, that was a very disrespectful number to just throw out there.
I felt disrespected
into
by
the
it.
betting markets.
Is the reigning defensive player of the month playing in this game tonight?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
That's all I need to know.
That's all I needed to know as well. But I do love a good Friday night 9 o'clock tip. I think, tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I think. I have for a while believed that it's important in life to have things to look forward to more so than just like your day-to-day stuff. I don't mean like looking forward to your son's next baseball practice or your daughter's next, soccer practice or, your next day of work. But like if you can like have we're going to this concert in 2 weeks, or we're going on this vacation in 3 months, or we're going to dinner on Friday. We're playing golf on Sunday. Just things to look forward to. Like, I can't wait to do that. I got this other stuff I got to do, but I can't wait to do that. I've believed in that for a while. It's good to have things on the calendar, right? Otherwise, you're just sort of going through your life. I like having things on the calendar. I like putting things on the calendar.
Yep, me too.
All right. I am now also a believer that it's fun to have things to look forward to in the individual days.
Yeah.
And if you give me something at 9 o'clock, this thing I'm looking forward to at 9 o'clock, it's starting at 9 o'clock. It's going to take me past 11. And it's not the biggest deal in the world because I don't have to get kids up for school in the morning. That's a fun Friday night.
It's a fun Friday night.
I'm already excited. Do I look excited?
You look excited. We got ready. 2 weekend games. Kind of fun. I like a Friday, Saturday doubleheader. Yeah.
I like a Friday, Saturday doubleheader. So tonight, get home, settle in. Get wrestling at 7 o'clock. Just as soon as somebody does something wild there, it's time for the Grizzlies to go inside the Golden One Center, smack these Kings around, make them regret ever thinking about firing Mike Brown midseason.
That's what I want to do.
I got something to look forward to today. Are you looking forward to today?
I am. I really am. I hope we get some guys back. I mean, I would think that line moving might suggest that some of those guys, if not at least one, is going to be back tonight. One of the contributors out of like BC, Edie, Jake. Like, I would think someone's coming back tonight.
We got to get old Boo Ray Edie out of concussion protocol.
I think, I think he's good.
Got to keep those cards out of his hands.
No, he wasn't playing Boo Ray. He wasn't. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. But it wasn't Boo Ray. What is it, Boo Ray?
I know a Boo Ray player.
It wasn't Boo Ray.
I know
related.
a Boo Ray player when I see one.
No, dude.
I know a Boo Ray. Bennett. I was born at night. I don't know if I was born at night. Do you know when you were born, like what time of day?
No, I don't.
I don't have
I
any
remember
idea.
when my kids were, but I don't remember when I was.
Let's see if I can remember.
I mean, how would I remember when I was?
Let's see if I remember when my kids were born. Aiden, definitely at night, because it happened after a Memphis-Louisville basketball game, and we were going to have to do C-section.
Yeah.
And our doctor said, hey, I know you want to watch this game, and I want to watch this game, so why don't I just go home and watch the game? You watch the game. We'll come back afterwards and get the baby. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. My wife was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She thought that was insensitive.
Yeah.
It was a good game, though. So Aiden definitely born at night. We did it right after the game, just like you said.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Oliver, and this is middle kid stuff. I don't remember.
I can't remember knowing he's sitting right out there. I know. I hope he's not listening. And Miles was at like 6 a.m. I remember that.
And then Lou was right in the middle of the day because I was going to, I pulled into the radio station. It's like 3:50. Because God knows I wouldn't be pulling in there at like 3:10.
That's right.
It'd have to be like 3:50.
3:58. Yeah.
Show starts at 4, and it's got to go to the hospital. They're about to pull your kid out of your baby. You pull your kid out of your wife.
Yeah,
it's a wild thing to hear.
Nice, yeah.
It's a wild thing to hear when you think you're going in and talk about basketball. And that's what. But so that was afternoon. Aiden was night. Oliver was. I might have to check the birth certificate on that one.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna. We have to have therapy.
You're gonna get
That's
in trouble
middle
for
kid
that.
therapy.
Yeah, you
That's
messed up.
middle
You
kid
messed
therapy.
up with this little
Anyway, what I was
conversation
trying to
piece.
say, it's time to. I like having things to look forward to at night. And tonight we got something. 9 o'clock tip inside the Golden One Center. Kings and Grizzlies. Kings opened as a 4.5-point favorite. Disrespectful.
It's a big stretch for the Grizz.
Well, you're shorthanded. Mm-hmm. On the road tonight. On the road tomorrow.
Yeah. Dallas
on Monday.
Yeah.
If we're coming back here on Monday morning and we're talking about a weekend split, you comfortable with that?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so too.
I'm definitely.
I think you take a
that.
comfortable split.
Yeah, because I really want to get this win tonight, just because this team that you're playing, I know they've won 2 in a row. I think that it feels gettable. Golden State's going to be out for revenge tomorrow, dude. They're going to really want to get that one.
I don't care what they want.
Yeah, but it's a second night of a back-to-back for us on the road. You're traveling. They really want to get that one against you. I feel way better about tonight than I do tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's true.
I think the Grizzlies are better than the Warriors. Let me make that crystal clear. I'm just saying the spot is not great.
Let's just give us a split. Let's take a split.
Yeah, let's take a split. However it comes.
However it comes. Bring us a split. We'll sit here on Monday and we'll celebrate a split.
Yeah, for sure.
We're happy to celebrate a split. Jessica Benson, she'll be in studio next.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Jaren, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take 3! Take 3!
Bane for 3.
Bingo!
This man Bane heating it up.
Blocked by Jaren!
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio. And on Fridays in the second segment, I'm joined by the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurd. It's the great Jessica Benson, fresh back from New York City. Look at you.
I'm back.
Look at you, back from New York City. Still got your vest on.
My new vest.
Got your vest on.
Yeah, it was one of my purchases.
Do you like a vest? I'd never wear a vest, I
haven't had a vest in a minute, and I tried this one on, and I said, I want this vest.
Bennett, you like a good vest.
I don't, and I really want one.
For
I was around
for tactical reasons?
Not for tactical reasons. Not for tactical reasons. Although that
Be ready,
makes
stay ready.
Actually, that makes sense.
This has no pockets. Actually, that's my one knock on it. I went this morning to put something in my pocket, and I realized, there's no pocket.
No, not having enough pockets is a real problem in the year
really
2025.
is.
It's a real problem.
It is. I was around
So I bet
people
it wears
though.
cargo pants.
That's right. I was around. I don't wear cargo pants. I used to.
But no, I still do, and I do it because I like all the pockets. I don't care what people say.
Yeah.
Plus, there's pictures on the internet of Leonardo DiCaprio wearing cargo.
Where were you
shorts.
on January 6th?
Well, they made a comeback.
I was at home. I think I was at home.
Okay.
I think I was at home. No, I wear cargo pants, but only to store stuff other than weapons. Not carrying weapons, but I like all the pockets. And I say F the haters.
I think men should just start using a purse.
Well, let me ask your honest opinion.
Yeah.
What's your honest opinion? Do you allow your husband to wear cargo shorts? You would actually stop him?
Yes.
And he seems like the type who would try.
No, he's not really into cargo shorts.
Okay,
I'm a cargo short kind of guy. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen him in cargo shorts.
Okay, but
and I would never imagine him to even try to wear cargo shorts.
Well, how did that happen?
We had this conversation in New York. I've worked diligently to help my husband be a little fashionista in this world.
You know what I have?
And I've successfully done just that.
I do believe this. If you have a wife or a partner with good fashion sense, if you just stay out of the way, they'll help you.
Can really help.
You can
and
really.
We would love to help you.
Every compliment I've ever gotten is a direct result of my wife picked that out.
Yeah.
Every result ever. Every compliment ever.
We're here to help.
Nobody has ever complimented me on something I've picked out my whole life.
And my favorite thing that Chris does is when someone will compliment him on something, he goes, "Oh, thank you, but it's not for me. It's for my wife. Because I'm just trying not to embarrass her."
That's right.
And I'm like, that's so sweet.
But if you can subscribe to that, it's actually beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're better off with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It took me about 38,
You get it.
39 years. I didn't get it at first.
Chris got it pretty quick, so that's helpful.
I fought it for a while.
Yeah.
I fought it for a while.
I held on to the cargos for a long time.
It's okay.
But
For
I'm
a
still,
really
but
long
I know
time.
They're a nice utility pant, and I get it for you guys. You don't have a purse.
I don't have a purse.
You don't have anything to carry
I used to
your
carry a
stuff
purse.
in. What kind of purse?
I think they're making a comeback.
Full
Though.
strap. They are, and I think that's fine.
Cargos are making a comeback.
Oh no, not cargos, a purse.
No, cargos are making a comeback.
I hope so.
Get yourself a fanny pack.
Them. I enjoy
a
them.
crossbody bag.
I just don't understand why you would want 2 front pockets when you could have 6.
They're so ugly. There's such thing as too many pockets.
I don't think so.
Too many pockets.
You gotta.
And then if you're actually putting stuff in the pockets, you know how awkward it is when you see and you're like, what's in that person's pocket?
Well, no, I don't think. I'm not looking at people's pockets and trying to wonder what's in them.
Sometimes they have so much stuff in their pockets.
That's not the way I go through life. Bennett, is that the way you go through life?
No.
Jessica, what are you doing?
I don't know. I had a coat on and I didn't want to carry a bigger purse, so I stuffed my hat in my coat pocket.
Okay.
And my mom was like, "What's in your pocket?"
Okay.
And I realized it made my coat look ugly. So then I took the bigger purse.
Jeez.
These are being a woman.
That's a lot. Yeah, it sounds tough.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. Okay, if I just have a normal shorts on, iPhone,
Yeah.
wallet,
Yeah.
AirPods.
Okay.
What else we carrying, Bennett?
Do you need anything else?
Edibles.
Keys.
Bennett's gonna have his edibles.
Not just loose in my
Keys.
pocket. God. I'm trying to.
But like
snack bag?
a little medicine bottle. But then you sub in and sub out.
A little snack.
Right, a little snack. You got a little fig bar in there or something.
A little mini.
How about you know what? Here's what I'm trying to tell you. I have never once looked up in the middle of the day and been like, you know what the problem is with this day? I got too many pockets. But I have looked up and been like, I don't have enough pockets for what I'm trying to do right now.
That's true. You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
And when you're out on the streets in New York City, you need pockets because you never know when you're going to have a chance to refuel.
That's right. I mean, you have a chance on every corner to
Well,
refuel.
no, but I mean to go home and get something that you missed.
Oh,
so you want to stuff your pockets on the way out so that you don't risk being like, man, I can't believe I left that in my room.
That's right.
I don't want to walk 30 blocks to go back and get it.
What I hear is you coming around on cargo shorts. That's what I'm hearing.
Maybe.
Are you ready to come around all the way?
Not yet.
Tell me what it was like to be in the middle of Times Square and look up and see me.
Oh my God, Gary. It was a traumatizing experience.
What was that like?
It was so jarring. Jarring is the word that I would use because we had just had a lovely dinner with some friends by Bryant Park, and we had about a 15-minute walk to our theater where I was finally going to go see Audra McDonald in Gypsy.
Okay.
And it was hit or miss that show was going to happen. It had canceled 5 productions the week that we were going because the cast got sick. There's a lot of children in that show. There's been a lot of speculation that kids and germs, bad mix this time of year.
I think so.
I don't have kids, but I've been
co-sign
told.
that.
But regardless, they didn't have enough people to do the show. And so one of the busiest weeks of the year, one of the most profitable weeks of the year, the show is canceling shows left and right. And every day I'd wake up and I'd go to Broadway Reddit. I spent a lot of time on Broadway Reddit waiting for people to say if the show was going on or not that day. And it was like, no. But we finally got to December 30th, which was the day we were seeing it.
Yeah.
And so we finished dinner, and I turn a corner, and I'm like, Audra Gypsy, Audra Gypsy, Audra Gypsy. Ah, it's Gary Parrish! And a giant billboard.
Isn't that a wild thing to see? I bet that's a wild thing to see when you ain't expecting it.
I was like, I know him. And the people we were with were like, what?
Is this...
I don't just know him.
Yeah, like we talk.
We chat.
Yeah,
I have a group chat that I'm going to send him a picture of his billboard.
We're in a group chat with Bennett.
It is pretty cool that you're on a billboard in Times Square.
I mean, how many people?
That is legit.
How many people do you consider a friend that are on billboards? Me and John Morant, I think, probably.
I used to have one. I was better friends with her sister, but the woman who played Supergirl, Melissa Benoist, I remember when she first got that job, and I was in New York, and she was on a billboard, and I was like, oh my God, I TP'd a house with this girl. Like, that was pretty cool.
But not a billboard as prominent as mine.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Not as prominent as yours. Yours is. It's not just but yours changes is the only thing. I don't want to spoil the secret.
No, it's true.
It's kind of like our billboards here.
It's a rotating billboard.
When I got my Memphis billboard opportunity, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. But then I would have friends come to town and they'd be like, I want to see your billboard. And I'd have to explain, well, it's a rotating billboard. And now we have so many shows that it takes about 40 minutes to get back to the Jessica Benson show eventually.
And there is nothing more pathetic
than standing and waiting for your billboard.
Oh!
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
I've been there. It's embarrassing.
I did it yesterday.
I'm like, oh, just wait. Just one more cycle.
Because I was like, I do want to have a picture of this, for it ain't going to be there forever.
Yeah. You got to get a photo.
So is it new? I wanted to ask you.
It's about a week old.
So I saw the fresh.
The first person who ever sent it to me was
me?
Dr. Mehdi Sadeghi.
Well, I'm happy number 2. Am I number 2?
You were number 2.
Okay, good.
You were number 2, and honestly, you sent a much better picture than Dr. Mehdi.
Well, even then,
he's not.
Unfortunately, there's a bit of a hole in your face.
He's terrible with iPhone cameras.
That's
amazing
tough.
with teeth. He'd do
I'm pretty terrible with teeth, but amazing with iPhone cameras.
See, you and Dr. Mehdi would make a good team.
Yeah.
Y'all would make a good team.
Yeah.
You'd have beautiful teeth and great pictures.
We could start a dentistry office together in which he does all the work and I take
the pictures, right.
Yeah.
He's subpar photo taker, amazing dentist.
Okay.
Why
was he in Times Square? Do you know?
I think he's just celebrating.
I just don't like to go to Times Square.
Yesterday was the first time I've been in Times Square in years. Like years.
I usually try to walk around. I'll walk the backside up Hell's Kitchen.
You need to walk 8th Avenue or like 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
If you try to walk straight down Broadway.
Oh no, you'll want to off yourself.
Yeah. You'll
it's so miserable.
There's 3 drug addict Spider-Men.
Yes, and there's Minnie and Mickey without their heads.
Right. Smoking.
Someone's trying to sell you a CD.
Yes. Oh.
But give it to you for free. Hey, check out my mixtape.
Yeah, and then somebody trying to get you to see a comedy show. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes someone's dancing.
Yeah.
And then there's always the overwhelming dread of like, this is a really scary place to be with this many people all the time.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to talk about this in the next segment. But you mentioned being on the subway. Your mom was on the subway. Like, we've seen some wild stuff in New York. There was a stabbing outside of a club 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Woman caught on fire on the subway, burned it.
Man was pushed in front of the subway right after we got off a subway. And not like in the same
And then you hear these wild stories about Times Square, like getting a little sketchy and dangerous. And here's the point, because you said this, and of all the days and nights I've spent in New York City, subways, middle of the night, walking the streets, the whole deal, I've never seen anything weird. I mean, I've seen weird stuff. I've never seen anything dangerous. With my own eyes, I've never witnessed it.
I'm with you.
And
I thought about this multiple times during this trip because we walk everywhere.
Right.
And I think that's one of the reasons, like if we go meta with this, here in Memphis, I never have a trouble walking places where people are like, you walked?
Right.
That's like 2 blocks.
Right.
You walked downtown Memphis? Well, yeah, I grew up walking the streets of New York and being taught, walk like you have a purpose, know your surroundings, and just keep track of things. And even when we were in New York this time around, it was 2 in the morning. We'd had a late night.
Sure.
It was 2 in the morning. We're walking back. And it struck me how comfortable I was. And that's not to say that bad things don't happen. I don't want to take that away. Yeah. But the majority, I've been fortunate enough to spend a lot of time in that city, and I'm with you. I have never seen any of the crazy things that make the news, and that's because the crazy things don't often happen regularly.
No, but
at a high frequency.
But it's the only thing you see.
And it's all you hear. And then people are like, oh, that sounds like the scariest city in the world.
Well, I've got friends that say the same thing about Chicago. They'll be like, we're thinking about going to a Cubs game. I'm like, oh, yeah, you'll have a blast. And they say, have you been there? Yeah. And they're like, well, so how dangerous is it? I said, well, where are you going?
Right.
And they're like, well, we're going to Wrigley and we're staying downtown. I was like, it'll be the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. But there's this perspective or perception rather of Chicago. It's like a gunfight every night, and it's just
you're gonna be like wrestling a homeless person to get home at night.
And the truth is, when you're in like Chicago and the Miracle Mile and all, it's beautiful.
But I also
it's the
think
most beautiful
yes,
place.
the Miracle Mile is a beautiful place. I also think it's a difference in how you like perceive some of this stuff too, because to be fair, we got out of our cab from LaGuardia, get dropped off like a block away from where we were staying, and the first thing we see is someone who's not doing well mentally, like pacing and screaming at everyone.
You see
that. But you want to know what my mom turned to me and said? I love this weird city. And that's the mentality that I approach. I don't love homelessness and I don't love people dealing with mental illness, and that's sad, and it can be really. On the flip side, walking down Fifth Avenue and seeing the extravagance in some of the most expensive stores in the world, and then seeing a homeless person asking for money outside, I'm like, God, this country is so weird sometimes. But in New York in its totality, it's such a weird, vibrant city that stuff doesn't scare me off. It intrigues me.
Right. Yeah. Like I've seen sad stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, a woman arguing with a building.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
You're often going to lose.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to get them to concede any points.
No.
They're not going to agree.
You might get the last word, though.
You definitely get the first and the last, but you won't accomplish much.
Yeah.
You'll see stuff like that. That's sad, but that's mental health mixed with, I assume, drugs and whatever else. But like oh my God, don't go on the subway or else. I know bad things happen. I have the internet.
Yeah.
But I don't see. I was on the subway at 1 o'clock in the morning 2 weeks ago and didn't even blink.
Oh, our one time on the subway, it was the worst thing that happened is Chris left his umbrella.
There you go. Yeah.
And not because he was distracted by anything.
Right.
Maybe he was distracted by how chill of an experience it was on the subway.
Yeah.
But then I will say, I think it was that day when the person got pushed in front of the subway and my mom said, we are not going back on the subway.
Well, I will say, I can, on one hand, I can say I've never seen anything crazy, but I also, when I am on the subway while I'm waiting on the train, I don't stand by the tracks.
Me neither.
I stand with my back against the wall.
Couldn't be caught dead.
Yeah.
I'm as far...
just because something almost certainly will not happen doesn't mean there's smart ways to go about life. Yeah. I'm probably not going to have a wreck on the way home, but I'm going to put my seatbelt on just in case.
But the subway it's an incredible invention. The fact that it can get you from one side of the city to the other in 30 minutes.
I'm telling, it can be a little intimidating for some people because you don't know where you're going.
Yeah, but once Google Maps started doing the full rundown, you don't even have to carry a map anymore.
You have to just follow what your phone tells you the same way you get into a car. You literally I can be in my hotel room and say, I need to get to NYU.
Yeah.
And it'll say walk. It'll tell me exactly what station to walk to, exactly what train to get on, exactly when the train's going to be there.
And if you miss that one, when the next one is.
When the next one's coming, exactly when to get off. It is so much more manageable now than it was, say, 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It can still be intimidating for some people, but once you figure it out, it's amazing how quickly you can get from point A to point B and how much more efficient it is than trying to do it in any sort of traditional way with a car.
Don't you think that's the case for a lot of things New York related? Is it's intimidating because there's a lot of components to it? I think about my experience with the theater. And I learned from an early age from my mom, hey, just pop into the box office ask for the cheapest, best seat available, and you're going to get something cheaper than if you buy your tickets ahead of time or try to, God forbid, buy them online these days and you get all the fees. But most people wouldn't know that. So they go online and they see these tremendous fees and they think, how on earth is any family of 4 ever supposed to see a show in the city? And then they don't even know about the TKTS booth where you can get 50% off tickets, but you have to be there at a certain time. Like, there's all these in-the-know things that make it a more difficult city than most to just pop into for a weekend and feel like you took full advantage. But then there's also a million bajillion free things that you can do and you probably have a good time.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome place to visit. It can get intimidating and overwhelming just because it's everywhere. It's so big.
Never stops.
It never stops.
Some say it's the city that never sleeps.
That's what I heard.
Although, I don't know, when we were walking home at 2 a.m., it seemed pretty sleepy. They do sleep.
They do sleep, but there's somebody always awake.
I think Vegas is more awake than New York.
Is Vegas more awake than New York?
I think Vegas is more awake than New York. You get those degenerates on a casino floor at 4 a.m.
It is much more reasonable, I think, to be up at 4 a.m. in Vegas than it is to be up at 4 a.m. in New York. Like, if you're up at 4 a.m. in New York City...
You can be up at 4 a.m. in New York. But in Vegas, you're almost encouraged to still be up at 4 a.m.
In Vegas, if you want to be up at 4 a.m., there is everything in the world that you want to do is available to you. Yeah. In New York, it's really, like, bars do close.
They do.
You know, like, you can find, if you want to drink till 5 in the morning, you can find those places, but it's not like the whole city's just...
Stuff was closed on New Year's Day.
Yeah. The idea that this stuff's just open all night long, that's not true. Anyway, okay, last thing about New York.
Oh, okay.
Do I need to go see Gypsy?
Oh, my God.
Do I need to?
Oh.
Because I really will do it. I've got to go back, and I've got some nights off in the city, and I want to do things, and I might go do this if you convince me that I should.
I think you should.
Okay.
But I also think you should see Sunset Boulevard.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll see both.
I think they're both pretty damn good.
Maybe I'll see both.
Yeah, they're pretty special.
Is it weird to go to plays by yourself?
No, not at all. I've done it many times.
I've done it.
I actually enjoy it.
I've done it a few times.
I enjoy it because then I'm not, as somebody who wants people to like the shows, I can like anything. So sometimes I'm a bad critic in that sense because I just enjoy being in that space and the energy that comes with it. But when I see it by myself, I don't have to worry about, like, if Chris is next to me, did he like it?
Right.
Does he appreciate it as much? I will say with Gypsy, it's an older show and it stays true to the source material. And so if you don't like old musicals, you might not love the story, but the performance of Audra McDonald is one of the greatest performances you will ever see in your life on a stage. And the standing ovation she gets is like, people are just waiting to stand on their feet. And I saw 2 in-show standing ovations on this trip, Audra McDonald and then Nicole Scherzinger in Sunset Boulevard. And in both of those cases, the song has not even ended and people are up and they are so excited. I think I've seen 5 of those in my lifetime and I saw 2 of them in one trip.
So is this one of those deals where if I go, then when the Tony Awards are on, then I'll be able to say, oh yeah, I saw that.
Yes.
And everybody will be like, oh, isn't this amazing? And I'll be like, yeah, I saw that.
You will either be able to say, I saw Audra McDonald in the performance that earned her historic 7th Tony win.
That's what I want to say.
Or you would be able to say, I can't believe Nicole Scherzinger any other year would win Best Actress, but she went up against the tour de force that is Audra McDonald. Or you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe Nicole Scherzinger stunned and beat Audra McDonald. Those are your options.
I want to say all that stuff.
Yeah, I want to say it with you. I want to talk more. Yeah, when the Tony Awards roll around, oh my God.
Okay, let me figure this out. We'll just we'll be doing whole shows on the Tony Awards. By the way, I don't know if you know this.
Dreams come true.
I don't think I've told you this, but I'd let Bennett know yesterday. I'm a movie watcher now. I'm back to watching movies.
Oh.
I'm now watching movies.
What did we see?
I watched last night. I watched Anora.
Oh, you did?
Was Anora?
How was it?
I liked it.
How has he seen Anora before us?
I know.
What is happening here?
Because you paid $25 to watch it.
I did. I did.
Have you watched Baby Girl?
No. Is that on my list? Is that a list of things I need to watch?
I don't know.
I'm trying to knock out all Best Pictures.
It won't be up for Best Picture.
Okay, then I don't have time for that.
So you're probably not going to have time to get, because the Golden Globes are this weekend, so you're not going to be able to knock out all of them.
You don't tell me what I can do.
Okay, I'm just saying, you got like 15 movies you got it, because they have the 2 categories.
Well,
they
then
got
let's just wrap this up right now. Wrap your hood. Let's go.
They got Best Drama category and Best Musical Comedy category.
So one of the people that I was fortunate enough to bamboozle others to come to 3 musicals in 3 days with me. And it was me, my husband, my mom, and then our friend here in Memphis. Her sister lives in New York with her husband. And so those 3 came with us. So there were 6 of us. The husband saw the 3 musicals in 3 days. But on the morning of the last one, he didn't go out to drinks with us the night of the second.
Why? 'Cause
he
he's a
needed
nerd?
sleep because he had 10 a.m. tickets to The Brutalist.
Oh, sick.
The next morning. So he saw a 3-hour movie the morning that then he went and saw.
That sounds amazing.
I almost went.
Like you're built different.
I almost went to the movies by myself the other night in New York to go see Nickel Boys.
Oh, I want to see that too,
so
man.
bad.
I'm a movie watcher
You're
now.
a movie guy. I watched a movie yesterday.
What'd you watch?
Conclave.
Oh, I want to watch that too.
Don't watch it.
It's going to be up for Best Picture.
It sucked.
I think I was about to buy that yesterday.
It was. You know what? It's a good movie. I get why it's going to be nominated for Best Picture.
Oh.
It just ain't my cup of tea.
Bennett says not his cup of tea.
I'm excited for Anora. That's number one on my to-watch list.
Loved it. I spent an hour last night just reading theories about the ending.
Oh, I love
You know the
that.
premise? You know the premise of it?
You don't even want to hear it? I just know she's a sex worker who marries someone rich.
Don't do it. I don't want to hear. I heard the ending's very controversial. I don't want to hear nothing about it.
The lead actress is a young
Mikey
woman.
Madison.
She's great.
Yeah, I watched her in a TV show. Oh God, what was it called?
She's played a serial killer in 2 different movies.
Oh, that's how you know her.
She's played.
No wonder Conclave's not your cup of tea.
I just said don't give away spoilers, and
it was called Better Things.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went down a Mikey Madison thing last night where I'm watching interviews with her, and she did the thing with Jimmy. She interviewed with Jimmy Kimmel, and Kimmel was like, "I watched you on a kids show, and now I'm watching you there," and that's like.
What kid show was she
I think it was what you just said.
Remember in Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood?
Hollywood?
It's not a kid show. It's a very adult show.
Well, she
is a teen. She's one of 3 daughters on a show.
Something. I don't know. He seemed to think I've been watching you since you were a kid.
It's Pamela Alden.
So then to watch you not as a kid is...
I think I saw her say her dad went and saw it.
It's pretty graphic.
Oh my God, could not be me.
There are graphic scenes. Like, it's not the thing you would watch with your kids.
You also wouldn't watch Baby Girl with your kids
I would,
either.
I might.
No, you would not.
Remember, she's part of the Manson family in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That's right. Yeah. Anyway, Mikey Madison is terrific.
I love her. I watched her conversation with Pamela Anderson on Actors on Actors.
I started watching that too.
And it was wonderful.
She's great.
Yeah.
I didn't even know she existed like 2 weeks ago.
Now you do.
Now I do. Now I'm in love with her.
That's amazing.
You're
a movie guy.
I'm a movie guy. It's good to be a movie guy
and
again.
now you can be a Broadway guy.
I love that you're a movie guy, man.
I'm going to be a Broadway guy and
I'll be a Broadway guy. I have never been to New York, though.
Then we got to do something about it.
You can be a Broadway guy, too.
Well, you can't. You can't be a Broadway guy.
He can go.
I mean, I've seen Broadway. Does it count if they come to the Orpheum? That counts.
I don't think
Can
so.
you
This
say
has been
you've
a
seen
big-
Broadway shows?
No.
Yes, Bennett, you can. But
Thanks,
you've
JB.
seen a Broadway show not on Broadway.
Correct.
And that's fine.
I don't think that's...
This has been a big conversation in the Broadway community.
This year is to see a show on Broadway in New York City.
That's like you, like Jess and I are over here drinking Dr. Pepper, and
I
you're
know.
drinking Dr.
No
Thunder.
way.
I
You're
know.
drinking
No,
Dr.
it feels
Thunder.
that way. It
We're
does feel
drinking
that
Dr.
way.
Pepper,
Yeah.
and you're drinking Dr. Thunder.
Touring companies keep the art alive.
You're over there with your Dr. Thunder, like, is this the same as Dr. Pepper? And Jessica's like, it's kind of the same. And I'm like, no, buddy, it's not the same.
It's a little different.
It's not the same. You ever seen them try to throw footballs into big circles at halftime of the SEC championship game? Dr. Thunder? Nope. Dr. Pepper? Yep.
You don't chest pass out of Dr. Thunder.
You don't chest pass a Dr.
competition.
Thunder, Bennett. You're thinking of Dr. Thunder.
Tough.
We're talking about Dr. Pepper over here. But you can be a movie guy.
Oh, I am that.
I'm starting to be one
I went to
again.
the movies by myself at 9:30 on Sunday.
What is going on with him? You know, church.
What'd
what about
you
church?
see?
You didn't think you took...
Nosferatu.
Oh, how
in
was
IMAX.
it?
You didn't think you...
Amazing.
Was it great?
It was amazing.
You've reached the point where you don't need God no more
I
on
wanna
Sunday
go see
mornings?
it again.
You don't need God on Sunday mornings?
That's my church, buddy.
Malco is your church?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I bet that's going to play well at the pearly gates.
Yeah.
God.
God was with me in that
Bennett,
theater.
where were you on Sunday morning?
Imagine showing up
Malco?
at the pearly gates talking about Malco's my church. Wonder how that's going to play with God.
I don't know. On the rankings, I think Malco would probably be ahead of the Church of Red Zone. That's the church I go to all fall.
I go there too sometimes.
We got a congregation. It's non-denominational.
I actually prefer Malco to church too.
I love the Church of Red
Man,
Zone.
we should all start going to the movies on Sunday morning instead of church. Wouldn't that be better?
Yeah. You see if we can get someone
Religion's
to come
back,
like,
baby.
hold up mass at Malco.
If you actually ask people what would be more fun on a Sunday morning, to get up and rather than throw...
Gary, I don't know what they're going to say.
Rather than throw on a tie, a shirt and a tie, just throw on a T-shirt and go to the movies. Imagine every Sunday morning, instead of getting up and going to church, people got up and went to the movies. Wouldn't that be funny?
That's how we get people back in the theaters.
I will say Zoom church has been the greatest thing that ever happened for... Like, I've gone to church more in the last 2 years than I did for like a 10-year period.
Is that still
of
a
life.
thing?
Well, at least it is for Chris's church in San Francisco, which is also like.
No.
I
know how progressive they are out there.
Do y'all try to pretend do y'all try to pretend y'all are God-fearing people without leaving your apartment?
No,
You
I
don't
wouldn't
love
put
God.
it that way.
You don't love God the right way.
But I love a good like Sunday afternoon sermon that like sets me up for the next week.
Do you?
I do actually.
I can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I want to argue with them all the time. I just never feel like they're shooting me straight.
I think this pastor, they would make you like ready to attack a week versus.
I want to take issue with some things. I got counterpoints.
Okay.
And I don't feel like and I don't feel like it's the right place.
But you want to know what the right place is?
They don't want to hear your counterpoints.
Malco.
That's right.
Go see a movie and then argue about it.
I think if people started being honest with themselves and you gave them real choices about whether to get up on Sunday and go to Malco or get up on Sunday and go to, Malco's more fun.
What if there was like a brief word? Like instead of we don't have AMC theaters here, but at AMC theaters, there's the Nicole Kidman famous, like, we come to the movies for life.
I love that commercial.
And instead of that, or we could have Nicole Kidman.
Yes, Nicole Kidman should be our pastor.
Nicole Kidman can read a verse.
Yes.
It's like, and it rotates. It's a rotating Sunday verse.
I would listen to
and then you watch a movie.
I would listen to a good Nicole Kidman sermon if I'm being honest.
I would too. I like her ability to orate. It could be a rotating group of actors with good voices.
But if it weren't rotating, if it were just Nicole Kidman every Sunday morning.
I mean, I just saw Nicole Kidman in Baby Girl, so I really can't make that connection at the moment. And like, she certainly could not read a Bible verse and then go into the opening scene of Baby Girl. That would be blasphemous.
Where do I watch Baby Girl? Can
At
I
a
stream
movie
it?
theater.
I'm not there. I'm not that kind of movie person yet.
I don't know if you can stream it yet.
I'm not quite that kind of movie person yet. I'm still mostly movie on my iPad type of person.
It hasn't come to streaming yet.
I like the
It's described as an erotic thriller.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like that.
A Christmas movie for the whole family.
Sounds perfect for Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Selena Gomez one downloaded in my phone right now.
I have no desire to watch it.
But I'm watching it. But as a movie guy, I feel like I have to.
You're going to watch it?
I have watched a little bit of it already.
Is it a musical?
That's another thing is I have to watch movies in spurts these days. I can't just like dedicate all the time. So I'm like.
Ben has to break it up. He has to cut his food up.
How about this?
Ben has got to cut his food up a little bit.
I have to watch movies with my husband, or else he gets mad at me for watching it without him. So like, I could be watching all these movies.
He's holding you back.
He is.
Yes.
He is. But he also went to 3 musicals with me. So like,
you
who am I to?
But it's compromise. This is what marriage is about. It's about compromise, right?
It was in the vows.
Yeah. Was compromise in the vows?
No.
Yeah.
Not explicitly.
But it should be. It should be more prominent in the vows. Compromise.
That's because no one actually wants to compromise.
Yeah, but don't you think that's actually the key?
It's probably the most important thing.
It is probably the most important thing. If you think you're going to marry somebody that you're going to like everything every single day, you're out of your mind. That's not going to happen.
You're going to have to compromise.
That should be in the vows.
Yeah.
Nicole Kidman should teach us about that one Sunday morning.
A nice sermon on compromising.
I feel like she had to in her life. Don't you think?
Of course.
She's married
Haven't
to Tom.
we all?
Yeah,
well, she was married to Tom Hanks first.
Tom Cruise.
Wrong Tom. Sorry, Tom Hanks. Did not mean to throw you in that. I think about that often. Like, Nicole Kidman will do something, and I'm like, well, she was married to Tom Cruise. She deserves to do whatever she wants.
I bet that's a big compromise.
To be married to Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
now she's married to Keith Urban.
How about that?
How about it?
Good for her.
Yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing her deliver a sermon on a Sunday morning. All right, I think we had some good ideas this time.
Congrats.
I think we had some good ideas.
Yeah.
I appreciate
you. Do y'all really quick want to make your prediction for the Golden Globes Best Picture?
Oh, sure.
I mean, while we're in
Sign
here,
me up.
I got it pulled up.
I haven't seen all the movies. Tell me
Okay, so Best Motion Picture Drama, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown. You saw that.
I've seen The Complete Unknown.
Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, in September 5th.
I want to see Nickel Boys.
I really want to see Nickel Boys.
It was playing on the Upper West Side. I just didn't make it.
At the Lincoln Center?
Yep.
Oh, I love that theater.
I've never been there.
I'm going to say The Brutalist.
Why are you just going to say The Brutalist?
It's just getting a lot of buzz.
It's like 3 hours long.
It's getting a lot of buzz.
Where can I watch that? Do I have to go somewhere to watch that?
I think you got to go somewhere.
Yeah, it just came out. I don't think it's out in Memphis yet.
It's not. That's another issue we have with the local theaters. I'm just like, we got to get these movies in the theaters now.
You're not respecting Ridgeway.
They're not even at Ridgeway right now. I have an issue with all of this.
Ridgeway is my favorite theater in town.
Me too.
But they're not putting some of these nominated films in that theater.
This time last year,
they got to be there.
This time last year, we already had a good number of the Best Picture nominees at Ridgeway. I know this because I was looking back at my notes from 2024 and starting the second week. I know. Well, last year I decided to start taking like detailed notes of life because I feel like we just go through this thing and forget so much.
It's called a journal.
Yeah. So okay, fine, but it's more like a note style. It's a note on my phone.
Okay.
But it's a journal note.
Give me an example. By the way, we have to go. This is getting silly.
Yeah, we have to go. Although I don't have to walk dogs this week. This is too stupid. No, I don't want to do this game anymore.
Give me an example of what you're journaling over there at your age. Tell me about your notes. Tell me all the things you need to remember. I thought that's what Facebook was for.
No, we don't do that anymore.
I thought that was Instagram was for.
Is it?
I don't know what Instagram's for. What is Instagram for?
I'm not sure what Instagram is for. I have a lot of Grizzlies related notes.
You just constantly taking notes?
I really am.
The only thing I have in my notes app is golf scores.
Ancient Hawaiian practice to improve our relationship to ourselves and to remind us we're all connected. You're supposed to chant, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you."
This sounds crazy. Are you crazy?
Apparently. I'm trying to look what this... Oh, it was from a funeral that I was watching. And then there's an Oscar Wilde quote. "When there is sorrow, there is holy ground. Someday people will realize what that means. They will know nothing of life till they do, and natures like his can realize it."
You might be bananas.
I might be the one who should be doing the sermon on Sunday mornings at Melco. I have enough notes.
You have taken some notes.
I'm trying to write a book, so I take notes of things that I want to include in my book.
You're sounding crazier with every sentence.
I love
every sentence is making you sound crazier. Every time you talk, you sound crazier than you just sounded.
That was tough. The whole point was when I was looking through my notes.
You're watching. Let me make sure I got this right. You're watching funerals and taking notes for your upcoming book. Is that right?
The book is on death, so the whole funeral thing would.
Jessica Benson is watching funerals and putting notes in her phone for her upcoming book. That's where we're at now.
I'm in.
Yeah.
You give her one stool.
Here's another one.
You give her one stool to talk to Santi Aldama, and now she thinks she's got to write inspirational books about death. You sound bananas.
Nah.
For 18 days last year, I wrote down something new I learned every day. I lasted 18 days.
Oh, you're real autistic, I see.
The first was Eddie Murphy's Raw is still the second highest grossing comedy stand-up film ever made. And Eddie Murphy can't name a single Taylor Swift song. This has obviously come from a profile I read on Eddie Murphy.
Oh, wow! I didn't know it was like this.
But I never last with it.
Oh, fun Jess just likes to talk about, I was just on the couch watching football all day. Real Jess is making notes off of funerals.
I gotta start taking notes.
I didn't know it was like this.
I'm just trying to not just skate through life. We've taken so much information every day, Gary.
Yeah, I'm trying to forget it.
I know.
My notes are nothing like that. They're just take out the trash. Call the doctor.
My notes say I was +3 at the turn. That's what my notes say. My notes say I was +3 at the turn.
I have an entire...
That's the extent of my notes. I have one note, and it is that I was +3 at the turn.
You're joking me. Do you want to know how many notes I have? I have 690 notes, and I deleted 100 on the plane yesterday.
I have one, and it's +3 at the turn. That's all I needed to remember.
Where do you put an itinerary? Here's our entire New York itinerary. On a note.
I have people send me my itinerary. We have travel coordinators. They send me my itinerary.
Wow.
Dude, my notes
well, for those of us poors who have to make our own itineraries.
You're not making my own itinerary?
I type it into my little phone.
You must have forgot who you saw on a billboard. You think I'm making my own itinerary?
You're right. You're right.
Sometimes, I think because I come in here and I just put on a hoodie and y'all forget sometimes. I ain't somebody who makes my own itinerary. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. That's a wild notes app you got.
Apparently. I know there's other people out there who utilize their notes app in a
other autistic
productive
people.
way. Just slightly.
No, in all seriousness, this is...
Are you about to tell me I'm autistic?
You certainly have qualities.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, anybody who likes to list a bunch of stuff, just list.
Oh, okay, cool.
I say this as somebody who does similar things, just
Okay.
not in my notes app.
Yeah.
But like Buzz Williams,
Yeah.
basketball coach at Texas A&M,
Yeah.
I was with him at his house one day, and he's just talking. And I mean talking for 45 straight minutes.
Yeah.
And I've known Buzz for a while. But he's just talking and talking and talking. And he's like, yeah, and so look over here in this box. He has a journal from every day of his life dating back to his childhood.
Oh, that's insane.
Everything, every dollar he's ever made is documented. He could show you like June 17th, 1991, cut Miss Mary's yard, made $17. It's all documented there, right there. And at one point, he's just flipping through the pages. I swear this is a real story. And I just notice, and it's like a list of presidents. 1, George Washington. 2, whoever the second president was, on down through wherever we were at the time. And I'm like, oh, back up. He's like, what? I said, turn back. What is this? And he goes, oh, that's the list of the presidents in order. And I'm like, yeah. I picked up on that. Why is that in this notebook? He said, well, I was just sitting around one night, and I was like, I don't know all the presidents and the order that they served.
Huh.
And he said,
He just wanted to?
So I started trying to learn it and practice it. And so then the one way to remember it is to write it down, and then I would just study this. I was like, when did you do this? He was like, 2 years ago? I was like, so at the age of 43.
You just decided you wanted to know the...
And he's like, well, once it got in my head that I didn't know, then I couldn't get it out of my head that I didn't know, and I felt like I needed to know. And I was like, you need to be diagnosed.
I think that's actually kind of cool.
It's awesome. It makes him
I
who
love
he is,
that.
but it is also a condition. That's not a normal thing normal people do.
You want to know, I think there's such a, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Autism.
Yes, that's the one. People who can remember things like that.
Yeah.
In today's digital age where you can just look anything up, there's such a premium on people who genuinely have that knowledge. I'm always shocked. Sometimes some of the stuff that you can recall is incredible. I can't do that. Like I've been to all these games. I can't remember the people from them.
Oh, I'm
so
not
I like
good
to
at it.
go and look up who I saw. I have to be reminded of, I can remember the broad, but I can't remember the specifics. And that's always been something in the sports media space that I'm like, I have to get better at being able to recall everything I've ever done. And I can't do it. But you can do it.
Not really.
Yes, you can.
Not really.
Oh, do you have a note? Not on your phone?
No.
Do you have a journal?
No, but we talk about this. John Rothstein can genuinely do it.
That's crazy.
He can remember anything. Like, we will bring in somebody in studio who's never worked with us before.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say Brandon Rush. And Rothstein will be like, Brandon Rush, 2007 Elite Eight game. You're 7 of 12 from the field. And Brandon will be like, oh, yeah. But he has no idea. But Rothstein remembers every bit of it. I can't do any of that.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I can't do that. I just.
Oh, you fake it well. I would have assumed that you could.
I do fake it well.
Yeah.
And that's because typically before I speak about something, I remind myself of everything about it.
And that's why I try to take a note.
Yeah. I use Google.
There you go.
I use Google for what you use your notes app for. I just figure somebody on the internet's already made a note of it.
Quickly.
Somebody on the internet's already made a note of it. I can find it with a Google
That's so
search.
funny.
All right. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
We've had an interesting little time
did.
together
We had a lot.
today.
That was good.
Grizzlies play the Kings tonight.
I
Go
heard about
Grizz.
that 9 o'clock. Go Grizz. Underdog on the road against a team that just fired his coach. I find that disrespectful.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't get to make the lines.
No.
I don't get to make the lines. That's an interesting little notes app. We'll have to explore that a little further someday.
We'll just play scroll and hit, and we'll see what comes up.
That's a wild.
That's a dangerous game.
Watching funerals and taking notes is kind of wild. You would have to admit that.
I promise there's a reason.
There's a point to it.
I promise whatever the reason is, I'll still think it's wild.
Okay.
All right?
That's fine.
Whatever the reason is. That's Jessica Benson. She's got notes in her phone for days. She'll be back in studio Monday. Jessica Benson Show. CJ Her. We come back. Penny's Tigers went down to Boca last night. You got to get that checked out. I'm talking to you.
Sorry, my fault.
She's been coughing for a year.
It's gotten better.
Not really.
Yes, it has.
No, it was gross early on.
Gross?
No, just, I mean, it was a gross sounding cough.
Yeah. I wouldn't take it that far.
God, I've been called.
You've been called autistic and gross.
This is my first day working in 2025.
Come back, sit between two old men and get called gross and autistic.
I'm going to clip this and say this is what being a woman in sports media is like.
I think you're autistic, but it's like, no, I think she's gross.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Hey, I was never grossed out by your cough. Never
you.
once.
You just want me to see a doctor.
No, that was a nice cough. That was a nice cough.
I've never been grossed out by your cough. I would like for you to get it treated.
I have.
Again. I'd like for you to get it treated
I got another
again.
ENT appointment. on Thursday.
Well, I'm looking forward
So
to
I'll
that.
let you know what they say.
Please do.
I will.
Please do. Penny Hardaway's Tigers won in Boca Raton. By 20.
About it.
By 20. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
In paradise.
Take a break, then we'll come back and
I need
talk
a break.
about it.
How about them Tigers?
How about the Tigers?
Go.
Beat Tulane in a game that nobody called. Nobody thought was going to happen. They were a 2-touchdown underdog, and they got the win.
Number 25 in the AP right now, number 24 in the coaches poll right now. So this is a Tigers football team that's going to end the regular season ranked in both major polls, possibly ranked in the CFP as well with 10 wins. That's a damn good season.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation, it's time to send Ja, Sharon, and Dez to the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh! What did we just see, partner?
Take three. Bain for three. Bingo. Desmond Bain.
Heating it up.
Blocked by Jaron.
Most versatile power forward in the game today.
Head to NBA.com/vote, the NBA app, or simply use the QR code on the screen to send your Grizzlies to the All-Star Game today.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GBWR.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals takes it straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Ring in the new year at Southland Casino Hotel to win your share of over $100,000 in free play, cash, or a 2025 Lexus. On New Year's Eve, we're turning up the energy with incredible entertainment. Dance the night away to the beats of DJ Epic, Jerome Chisholm and the M-Town Band, and an electrifying performance from Troy Laz. There's only one place to win when the clock strikes midnight, Southland Casino Hotel.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Final score, Memphis 90, Florida Atlantic 62. It was a beatdown in Boca. Bennett, you were nervous yesterday. I saw it on your face.
Yeah.
I saw it on your face. You were nervous yesterday. I said, don't be nervous. The Tigers are good.
Yep.
The Owls are not. Dusty May ain't walking through that door. I think Memphis wins tonight comfortably and wins the AAC by multiple games and cruises into the NCAA tournament. And obviously I can't guarantee the future, but first impression in the AAC, it was a nice one, a beatdown in Boca.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, first off, that was a really impressive win. I mean, I don't think that FAU team's probably not very good,
right,
but that was a packed house, and it's obviously a smaller gym, but they're right on top of you. You know, they were excited about that game. I think it was the first ranked opponent to come in there in a long time, and so they were fired up for that game. And the Tigers, just when they came out and got up 10 early, it was just, I mean, they took the air out of the building, right? Like those fans could never get back into the game, and it just worked out perfectly for them the way that they attacked that thing to start the game.
Well, it's huge to anytime you're on a road in anything that could resemble a hostile environment to try to get the crowd out of it.
Yeah.
Any coach will tell you that.
Yeah.
Like there's a massive difference in the game if you go up 8-0 as opposed to go down 8-0.
Yeah.
You go down 8-0, call a timeout, settle down.
They're in it.
Now you're in a fight. So for them to really control it from start to finish, super impressive. Florida Atlantic, I don't think they're that good, but they are 109th in the net, and were top 100 yesterday, but dropped significantly after getting spanked around by Memphis. And that qualifies as a road win for Memphis as a quadrant 2 victory.
Nice.
So that's 9 wins inside the first 2 quadrants now.
Yeah.
Auburn, which is number 1 in every computer, and depending on what you think of Tennessee, and it's 0 in the loss column, because I have Tennessee number 1. And Auburn fans are wildly offended by this because Auburn has better computer numbers across the board and more good wins than Tennessee, more quad 1 wins, all of that stuff. But Auburn did lose a game, and Tennessee hasn't lost a game. And I know Tennessee doesn't have as many great wins as Auburn, but Tennessee does have a true road win at Illinois, and Illinois just last night went to Oregon and beat a top 10 team by 32 points. Last night, Illinois, this is crazy. Like, there was something that happened in college basketball last night that had literally never happened before. Most people don't realize it. No team had ever gone on the road and beat a top 10 team in the AP poll by 32 points before, ever in the history of the AP poll. But that's what Illinois did last night. And Tennessee beat that Illinois team at Illinois. So if the team I think's the best in the country does have big wins, like at Illinois, and does have a 0 in the loss column, unlike Auburn, I think it's sensible, or at least reasonable, to just plant your flag there and say, I believe that team's the best in the country until somebody shows me they can beat them. And since Tennessee and Auburn are in the same league, we'll settle it on the court at some point. So I would have Tennessee at number 1. The computers have Auburn. Debate it however you want to. Here's my point. Right now, Memphis has 9 wins in the first 2 quadrants. Nobody else has more than 6.
Damn.
And the team with 6 is Auburn. Auburn is 6-1 in quadrant 1, but they have nothing in quadrant 2. Whereas Memphis is 3-2 in quadrant 1, 6-0 in quadrant 2, and then they do have the 1 quadrant 3 loss. So not only does Memphis have more quadrant 2 wins, more wins inside the first 2 quadrants than anybody else in the country, they have 3 more than anybody else in the country. Now, like I told you yesterday, this will change eventually, even if Memphis keeps winning, because they're about to run out of opportunities, or at least the number of opportunities are going to decrease dramatically in the conference schedule. Opportunities for victories inside the first 2 quadrants. So eventually they're going to get passed by an SEC team or a Big Ten team or a Big 12 team. But for now, it is true. Memphis has more wins inside the first 2 quadrants than anybody else. A blowout victory at FAU, up to number 30 now in the net. They jumped from 42 to 30 because of that 28-point win. So it's all good stuff. You just hope now they keep it between the lines. Don't give anything back. Don't suffer another Arkansas State-type defeat. You've got the 1 quadrant 3 victory. You don't want to turn that into 2. Right now, you're the only team in the AP poll that has a quadrant 3 loss. Your next game is Sunday. North Texas inside FedEx Forum. That is a quadrant 3 situation. Right now, you're the only team in the top 25 with a quadrant 3 loss. I know you've been frustrated, and Memphis fans as well, Penny Hardaway included, about Memphis bouncing into the rankings, bouncing out of the rankings. But again, the main issue with Memphis' resume is the quadrant 3 loss. Right now, if you go take the top 25, they are the only team with a quadrant 3 loss. And if they don't win on Sunday, they'll have 2. And if they don't win on Sunday, that's the type of thing that will give voters reasons, if they need them, to drop them out of the AP poll again.
And I know
so knock this out.
Yeah, and again, I know North Texas is a quad 3 game and it'd be a bad loss. It also, the weirdness about it in this league is it might be your only chance for a long time for a decent win. Like later on in the season, that could actually look like an okay win because they're probably going to be good in the American.
Hope so.
Maybe, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, right now the problem is nobody is good in the American. North Texas is the highest ranked team besides Memphis in the American, according to the net, and they're at 76. So right now, Memphis is 46 spots better than everybody else in the AAC.
Yeah.
You just got to win the league. You got to run through it. And it's not like this. On one hand, you go, it's easy because you are better than everybody else. But there's a lot of pressure on you when you have to win every game.
For sure. I mean, game last night, it's a Thursday night. You're on the road, and that's like, I know Penny says that, and it's cliche, like it's their Super Bowl. It was. They made T-shirts. Like, they were fired up for that game last night. That's how it's going to be in most of these road games.
It's just, even when you're supposed to win every game, it's not easy to win every game.
No.
It's not easy to always do what you're supposed to do. You see it in football, right? Like, is Alabama supposed to beat Oklahoma? Yeah. Is Ole Miss supposed to beat Florida? Yeah. You know, people lose games they're not supposed to lose.
That's right.
The problem is when you lose them in the AAC, they are devastating because they're probably going to be quadrant 3 and quadrant 4.
Yeah.
You know, in the football side of things, we don't have the quadrants, and so we don't focus on quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. But in basketball, this is a big thing that is a massive topic of conversation heading into Selection Sunday and in that committee room, and you just can't have too many of the bad ones. Right now, Memphis has enough good ones to offset the bad one. But the opportunity to get the good ones is basically over. Now all you got a chance is to get bad ones, and you got to try to avoid them. They avoided one last night. Let's hope they do it again on Sunday.
Number 2.
Sugar Bowl went off without incident in New Orleans yesterday, so that's good news. No issues. And Notre Dame advances to your college football playoff semifinals. 23-10 victory over Georgia. Turns out trying to get to the college football playoff semifinals when you don't have your starting quarterback can be challenging. Georgia had to learn that the hard way. So semifinals are now set. It's Notre Dame, Penn State. We're going to do that on next Thursday down in Miami. And then Ohio State, Texas next Friday at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Notre Dame, 1.5-point favorite over Penn State. Ohio State, 6-point favorite over Texas. After Ryan Day lost to Michigan and his job very much in jeopardy.
How about that?
Ryan Day and his Buckeyes are now the favorite, and considerable favorite, like pretty overwhelming favorite to win the first ever 12-team college football playoff. Some interesting news from Heather Dinich earlier today. Did you see this?
No.
She covers the college football playoff. She's like the ESPN CFP beat writer.
Yep.
She said that despite all of the debates and discussions connected to this 12-team college football playoff and how it has been constructed, it is unlikely that there will be any changes made to it next year. This sort of,
as far as like the seating,
this touches on what we talked about yesterday. There are obvious changes that should be made. And the most obvious one is you shouldn't have to be a conference champion to be a top 4 seed, because the top 4 teams are not necessarily all from different conferences.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, rarely are the top 4 teams all going to be from different conferences. And yet when you structure this where you can't be a top 4 seed, you can't get a first-round bye without a conference championship, well, that's how you get Boise State and Arizona State in the top 4, even though there is nothing in their resumes, nothing in the data, nothing in the computers that suggests these are really 2 of the top 4 teams.
Right.
That's how you end up with Penn State being a 6 seed and getting an easier path to the semifinals than the 1 seed Oregon. Penn State got to play 2 teams it was clearly better than to get to the semifinals. And Oregon, as the undefeated number 1 team in the country, had to play its first game in the playoff as an underdog. That should never happen.
Right.
That should never happen. And I'm not a big believer in seeding a bracket based off of point spreads. I do believe you should disregard point spreads, disregard computer numbers, and really just focus on what did you do this season on the football field. Who'd you beat? Where'd you do it? Who'd you lose to? Where did that happen? What's your entire body of work? Let's rank it relative to other bodies of work. That's how you seed it. So I'm not saying just because Ohio State would be the best in all of the computers, Ohio State should have been the 1 seed. But what I am saying is Ohio State shouldn't have been seeded where it was seeded, and Boise State shouldn't have been a 3 seed. And when you start automatically giving top 4 seeds to conference champions, regardless of where they rank in an actual ranking, you're messing with the integrity of the bracket. That's how you end up with Oregon as an underdog in the quarterfinals and Penn State as a heavy favorite to get to the semifinals. That is something they should fix. Mm-hmm. And it's something that's easy to fix as long as you can get the votes. And I don't know why you wouldn't be able to get them, because you're operating from a sensible position. And if you got to sprinkle a little whatever to get the other side to come to your place, then you do that because it's just the right place to be. So I was surprised, frankly, when Heather Dinich reported that this morning. I knew get the bowl games out of the semifinals and out of the quarterfinals. That's harder to do because there's contracts and handshakes and decades-long relationships that would have to be undone. I still think it should, but that's more difficult to do. But this thing should be easy. And it's smart, and the idea that they're not going to do it makes no sense to me. You ready for this? They'll do it someday.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do it someday for sure. We all know they'll do it someday, and I just told you why they'll do it someday.
Yep.
Because doing it this way makes no sense. So if we know doing it this way makes no sense, and we know they're going to change it someday, what are we waiting on?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, especially just wait, because it's going to end up happening to one of these same teams. Because, I mean, a lot of these teams are perennial power. It's going to happen again to one of these same teams probably next season. That's when the change is going to happen. A conference is going to be like, what are we doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you ready for this? When they ultimately change this, and they will, the reasons they will give you for changing it will be the exact reasons I just said. It will be exactly what I just said, probably just a little more succinct, right? But exactly what I said. You already know it's a problem. You already know you're going to change it someday. What is the point of waiting? That's college athletics for you.
Number 3.
Kylie Kelce. She's got some words for her haters.
What'd she say?
She said F the haters.
Did she?
I mean, not in those words, but more or less she said F the haters. Somebody was, just like tweeting, like, who is Kylie Kelce? And typing into Google, like, who is Kylie Kelce? And making a point of that on social media. She clapped back.
What'd she say?
She said, you realize if you type who is Kylie Kelce into like your Twitter or your Google, it's just going to make you see more of me. That's the way algorithms work. So if you really hate me so much you don't want to see me and are disgusted by seeing me, about the worst thing you could do is type me into your computer, because now I'm just going to pop up, pop up, pop up. What a wild story. You start feeling good about yourself, and here comes Kylie Kelce.
Man, that Kelce family, they just got something going, dude.
I was really happy about my billboard, and then I was
know, dude.
Humbled very quickly.
Yeah.
Like, this woman didn't have a podcast 3 weeks ago, and she got the biggest podcast in the world now. I was starting to feel pretty good. Now I feel like a complete failure.
Can I be honest, too?
Please.
Early on in this and their whole podcasting venture, that whole the Kelce family, I was like, it's the Taylor Swift bump. I think a lot of us thought it might be the Taylor Swift bump.
It is.
I don't know if it still is.
No, it is. They have some substance to them, clearly.
Yeah.
There's like some real attractive likability stuff there. But don't ever get it. This does not happen without Taylor Swift.
I agree with that.
You ready? You wouldn't even know Kylie Kelce's name if not for Travis Kelce dating Taylor Swift. If Taylor Swift wasn't dating Kylie Kelce's brother-in-law, you wouldn't even know her name. Now, the way you know her name is because of that, and then you get to know more about her, and you're like, she seems awesome.
Yeah.
She seems great. But you wouldn't even get there without this.
And I mean, but I agree with that. But I mean, at the same time, Taylor Swift's promoted a lot of people that haven't become the biggest in their thing. I'm just saying, once you get there, once you get that platform, you got to do it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I hope I'm being clear about that.
Yeah.
This is a little, perhaps you'll get the point. Andy Enfield was the head coach of Florida Gulf Coast. He was doing a good job, made the NCAA tournament. You didn't even know his name.
Right.
All right? They win a game in the tournament, win another game in the tournament. They're in the Sweet 16. It's Dunk City. His wife is a Maxim model. Like literally a Maxim model. I forgot about that. First off, you didn't know that. All right? But they start winning. It's like, who is this Florida Gulf Coast? Who is this Andy Enfield? Who is this what? Oh, she was on the Maxim. Next thing you know, in a matter of 4 days, the country went from not even knowing who Andy Enfield was to knowing everything about his wife.
Yeah.
And a week later, he's the head coach at USC. And the reason all that happened is because once he made the Sweet 16 and the CBS cameras focused on his wife and she was obviously attractive, it just, people started taking a closer look. And then it was like, oh man, Andy Enfield's interesting. He worked, he's a smart guy and he worked in the ACC and then he did this and it sounds like you started taking a closer look and you're like, man, this guy's got some real stuff to him. Didn't even know this guy existed a week ago.
Yeah.
But now that you take a closer look, there's like some real stuff here. Kylie Kelce and Jason Kelce are the same thing. They clearly have some real stuff to them. They seem incredibly likable. I mean, television networks can't stop begging to put Jason Kelce on anything.
Right.
Hey, will you do a studio show? Will you host a game show? Will you do a talk show? There's real substance here, but we wouldn't even know it existed without Taylor Swift. That is remarkable. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift's relationship put Kylie Kelce in a position to be the biggest podcaster in the world, even bigger than Joe Rogan right now. And I'm not pretending that it'll stay there. I have seen some people say, like, she's supplanted Joe Rogan. I don't know if that's true. Mm-hmm. But the numbers are the numbers for right now. She has, for multiple weeks now, had the biggest podcast in the country. And it really is, it's her brother-in-law started dating Taylor Swift. This whole thing's crazy.
Yeah, it is wild.
Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce are superstar, like, celebrities now. And Kylie Kelce is too. And how many people... Of the percentage of people who are aware of Jason Kelce today, how many new people knew his name, even as a all-pro football player 2 years ago?
I mean, if you're not a sports fan, I would think not. Yeah,
I don't know even sports fans. I think you'd have to be a hardcore NFL fan to even know that Jason
Kelce. I like
Kelce.
to consider myself that.
I consider you that. I consider you that. But I think you'd have to be that to know Jason Kelce 2 years ago. And now you can't buy cereal without him on it. And his wife is the biggest podcaster in the world. I'm happy for him.
I am too.
Yep. Number 4.
Americans are reportedly streaming much lower rate in the year 2024, down 23%. Big Bet Bennett. To what do I attribute this to? What do you attribute this to?
It's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's like a clear answer, but I have a theory.
What's your theory?
That I think. Okay, so I think we could all agree that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 7 major streaming networks.
Let's see if I can name them on top of my head.
Okay, yep.
Netflix.
Yep.
Paramount Plus.
Yep.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I would loop them with Disney Plus. I would say that they're the same thing because now you get all that on the same.
Peacock.
Yep.
Apple Plus.
Yep. 2 more huge ones.
2 more huge ones.
Yep. One is obviously massive because of what they do in the United States every day.
Well, let me just look at what I got. Oh, Max.
Yep.
The Max app.
And then one more massive one.
Prime Video.
Yes.
Yes, of course. I have Showtime on here.
Yep.
I have Hulu Plus on here.
Like my Hulu's on my Disney Plus.
I've got
now.
Disney Plus here. I've got FX Now here. I've got AMC here. I got a bunch, Ben.
Yeah.
I got a bunch.
So what I think it is obviously the prices have been jacked up on all of them. But now I would say pretty much all of these, we have years worth of experience with using these apps, knowing what these apps are, what's on them, what kind of content they put out. And so I think that now people want to save money. They know now which ones they have to have for their personal, liking, right? Like me, I want everything. I like to consume it all. I want everything.
I have everything.
I have everything too. But I would venture to say the majority of Americans aren't like us. Like we're kind of the outlier weirdos, right? And so I think what happened is people realize, okay, I don't need Peacock anymore. I'm not watching this one as much as that's what I think it is. I think that people are consolidating and canceling the ones that they know I might watch this one once or twice a year. That's what I think is going down.
Probably on some level. I think the key for all of them is just to have at least one thing that you feel like people can't detach from. Mm-hmm. So for Max, it could be your Dragon Show or The Last of Us or just John Oliver, Bill Maher.
I love too many shows on there.
Yeah, I can't. I just got to keep that, right? Netflix, you got to assume at this point they're always going to have something interesting. So you just keep that because Plus, NFL's there now, wrestling's there.
Well, that's the thing is with Netflix, with Peacock now, Paramount Plus, they're Prime. Those are all pretty heavy. If you're a sports fan, it's almost like you have to have those,
right?
Especially if you're an NFL fan, you really have to have those. If you're a big NFL fan, those are the ones you got to have,
right? So then, Paramount Plus was able to. This new Landman is a hit with Billy Bob Thornton, so they've got one now. The key is just, can you get something on these sites that people feel like it's only $14.99 a month, or it's only $11.99 a month, and I got to have it for this one show. As long as you got one or two of those, you're fine.
I don't think it's a coincidence that it's down and that all of these platforms are trying to grab as much sports content as they can.
Oh, sure.
They know that that's what's going to keep people, because if you're a sports fan, you have to have it.
Well, you run into this with college basketball all the time. There's a game on this weekend, a big one. There was one on the other day, a big one, and they're streaming only on Peacock. And you'll hear people be like, it's crazy that it's a top 10 matchup and it's only on Peacock. Well, it's not crazy. It's by design. Why?
That's why. They want your money.
Yeah, you know why they put that on Peacock?
Right.
So that you, as an Illinois fan, will be like, I guess I got to subscribe to Peacock. I got to watch the Illini, whatever it is, right? So
I don't think any show or movie can drive subscriptions like sports.
No, not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. So, yes, that's why sports rights continue to be incredibly expensive for all networks and streaming services, because that's the type of thing that can keep you subscribed. That's the type of thing that people watch live. Live television is not as important as it used to be.
Right.
Like when your sitcom comes on at 7 o'clock. You used to have to be there at 7 o'clock. You can now watch it whenever you want to.
Yeah.
But live sports is still live sports. And, the more and more it continues to move towards streaming services, then I think that means that streaming numbers should go up in the coming years. So
I bet they'll go up.
Yeah. I bet this is just a minor blip down, temporary minor blip down.
Number 5.
So there's a couple interesting stories for the past couple of days and we touched on this with Jess, but it's something I think about every once in a while. Does it surprise you to hear, considering everything else you hear, that in the year 2024, homicides down in Memphis, homicides also down in the United States of America?
Yeah, it does.
Because if you didn't know anything, you would think that it's war out there every day.
Yeah, and I think just we as a society feel more on edge than we ever have before. Probably because of this, but I think so. Yeah.
I really do believe, I was talking to somebody about this a couple days ago. I think we've reached a point where we know too much.
Yes.
And it is negatively shaping our perceptions of our communities, of our country, of our world. I'm not saying there aren't bad things out there happening.
Right.
Of course there are.
But have you looked at the For You tab in the past 24 hours?
You would think you can't.
You would think we're in the apocalypse right now.
All right, okay.
Yes.
So I think I'm a pretty reasonable person.
I think I am too.
And yet I am so immersed in this stuff. Like when somebody burns up on the subway, I don't just hear about that. I hear about it immediately, and then I see it 50 times. When a guy turns a truck down Bourbon Street and mows down folks, I don't just hear about that. I hear about it immediately, then I watch it, every video of it. I see this stuff.
Yep.
And so I found myself yesterday. I was walking through New York City, and it's busy, and you're walking through crosswalks like every 45 seconds. You're walking through a street.
You got your.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I was constantly like this.
Yep.
And I don't think I should be walking around like that.
I agree.
That should not be in my head, but that's in my head. All right? So now I'm on the subway, and I'm looking around the whole time, worried about getting pushed on tracks or caught on fire. Now I'm walking across the street, and I'm looking around, worried about a truck running over me. These things should not be in my head. And it doesn't mean that these things don't happen. They do happen, but they do not happen at the rate at which we are walking around worried about them happening.
Right.
If all you did was watch Twitter, you would think New York City is insane. I've spent hundreds of nights in New York City. I've never seen anything insane. Never. crazy drunk person,
Sure.
crazy drug stuff. But like, and then somebody pulled out a gun in the subway. Never seen that.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody started fighting somebody on the subway. I've never seen that. And then there was a stabbing. I've never seen that. But I see it every day. So think about the contrast in this. What we're watching every day on our phones and computers, it's real stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of it's not. And so you just think that's the world we're living in. But then you go, okay, when do you ever actually see this stuff with your real eyes?
Right.
In real life. And it's like never. I shouldn't say never, but like, you know what it's a lot like? If all you did, like, I don't know about everybody that lives on my street, but I'm assuming most people who live on my street, they get off work, they come home, they turn on Fox News. They watch Fox News all night long, all right? Mm. And then they, get in the car rider line, and they couldn't be more fired up about transgender people coming to take their bathrooms and rape their daughters and all sorts of stuff. And if you could ever just sit down with them and go, it's interesting. Tell me about the last time you saw a transgender person. You don't even see them. Mm-hmm. My whole street's worried about transgender people. My whole street ain't seen a transgender person in the past 5 years, probably, right? You think and I'm not saying that there ain't somebody who was born a biological male who has transitioned to a woman and then beat the shit out of everybody in swimming. Like, I get it. That's a real thing that happens, all right? And be mad about that. But the idea that you're just constantly worried about somebody in a bathroom and you never even actually seen them in Walmart or at Kroger or at a red light or what are we? Same thing with I'm not pretending that the border isn't a problem, but think about everybody on my street's so fired up about the border. And you go, tell me about the awful experience you had. Oh, no. Mm-mm. You don't have one. You don't have a story. There's a million stories that you see every day. So you got all this stuff in your head. And then it's like, well, what was your experience with somebody you think might have crossed the border? It's like, oh, no, everything's great. No problems. None whatsoever. Mm-hmm. It's just sort of, and these homicide rates, I think, are similar. If you didn't know any better except going on WREG News Channel 3 website every day, I would think I'm going to get shot when I walk out of work today. And the truth is, murder rates are down. Homicide rates are down. Nationally, locally. It's not as crazy as we are made to believe.
Well, good. I hope it's a trend that continues.
Like the world is... I'm not saying there ain't crazy stuff out there.
Yeah, I got you.
But broadly speaking, our country is not as crazy as we are made to think it is.
Yeah.
We're safer than we think. Not as perfect as we should be, but at least the data shows safer than we think. Be back with you, Peace Carrier.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live. Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but in the opening segment, mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies. Return to the court tonight inside the Golden One Center in Sacramento. Can we get an update on the line, Big Bet Bennett?
What's going on? Let's see.
Opened at 4.5, dropped to 3.5, went back up to 4.5 earlier in the show, I noticed. Now back down to 3.5.
Who's coming back? That's what that tells me. We're getting some reinforcements tonight.
It's teeter-totting.
We're getting some reinforcements tonight. I got a feeling.
You think professional Blu-ray player Zach Edey returns from concussion protocol?
I would be shocked if you do not see Zach Edey, Brandon Clark, or Jake LaRavia play in the game tonight. One of those three dudes is coming back.
Out of those three, who do you think's better at Blu-ray?
Low-key, it might be Jake.
It doesn't look like it's Zach. Doesn't look like it's Zach.
Zach was not playing Blu-ray.
You don't know that.
He wasn't.
You don't know. You don't know. You keep saying that, but you don't know it.
He was not. I don't. Santi too might. He might be getting class. I don't think he's coming back tonight.
Who do you think's the best Blu-ray player on the Grizzlies right now?
Might be Yuki.
No, it can't be
Might
Yuki.
be Yuki.
I think that runs counter to everything I know about everything in this world.
Okay.
There's no scenario where Yuki could be the best Blu-ray player. It just runs counter to everything I know about this world.
Okay.
You know who I wouldn't be surprised to find out pretty good? GG Jackson.
GG?
Yeah. I think he could beat you in Blu-ray.
Maybe so.
I know it's not Zach Edey. I know that much.
Zach wasn't playing Blu-ray.
3.5-point underdog tonight in Sacramento. Even though you're 23-11 and the Kings are 15-19 and just fired their coach. That's disrespectful.
I don't like that.
It's disrespectful. Did they think we're playing the old Kings that used to be good with Mike Brown a couple years ago? It's not those Kings. This is not those Kings.
They won 2 in a row at home over pretty good teams.
De'Aaron Fox doesn't even want to be there anymore. De'Aaron Fox doesn't even like you anymore. You know?
See, that's the thing. Where's his head at?
Where
is he invested in this game
No, his head's
tonight?
in Miami.
His head's in Miami.
He's trying to get
you
a Jimmy Butler trade
yesterday. The wheels are in motion,
He's
bro.
trying to get De'Aaron Fox to Miami. Get Jimmy Butler. Oh, Jimmy Butler. I'm sure that'd go brilliantly. Jimmy Butler in Sacramento.
Oh, he'll run that franchise into the ground. They'll have to just close up shop.
Somebody did ask me.
I like Jimmy Butler a lot, man.
The reports are that he's open to playing. This is just a weird report.
Yeah.
He's open to playing anywhere other than Miami.
Yeah, man.
He said, just get me out of here. I'll play anywhere. I bet he doesn't mean Sacramento, though.
I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan. I will say, I don't think that was a great look last night. I mean, Miami's just such a well-regarded franchise. I don't know. Like, he's had blow-ups in different stops. I think like having a blow up here, it doesn't really hit the same as the other ones. You know what I mean? It's like, I think most people are probably like, come on, man. Like,
yeah, at some point it's you.
Yeah.
At some point, everywhere you're at, it ends this way.
Yeah. And I mean,
every relationship you have ends exactly like this.
And they've had success there. I know it's going bad. I I don't know. I saw that press conference last night, and I was just kind of like, I don't know,
They
dude.
said he's open to playing anywhere other than Miami. I had a buddy ask me, like, if you were the Grit, and I would not get involved in this.
No. You got such a good thing going. And I mean,
like
that's an alpha personality, dude. Like he's gonna want to come in and run stuff wherever he.
No.
He just is.
No, you're right. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Like two things can be true at the same time. I love a lot of the stuff Jimmy Butler has represented throughout his career.
For sure. Me too. One of my favorite players in the league. Don't get it twisted.
I would not want him on this team.
I
wouldn't want him on this franchise.
I just worry about it. You got a good thing going right now.
There's too many things it could mess up and not enough things it could fix.
Yeah.
Too many things it could mess up. I don't even think to even give that air, I don't even know it's fair because there's no reporting that the Grizzlies or whatever.
No.
It's just because he's open, would you do it?
Yeah. And he's going to want to go to a contending team. Which the Grizzlies are a contending
obviously,
team
by
right
definition.
now.
Yeah, I would not want Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy Butler. I'd like to have coffee with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But I would not like for him to be a member of the Memphis Grizzlies.
I think I agree on that.
I don't need that.
What's today's biggest game?
Let's go college basketball. 8 o'clock tip, FS1. Creighton at number 8, Marquette, led by my little homie from Memphis, Cam Jones. Cam Jones averaging 20.1 points per game, 6.6 assists for a top 10 team in the country, perhaps your favorites in the Big East. He's top 15 in the country in both points and assists per game. Cam Jones might be headed for first-team All-America honors.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
You know,
I like it when Memphis basketball can be good, and then Memphis products can also be good other places. I don't hate. I wish I like seeing Memphians succeed.
Yep.
Wherever they succeed. Cam Jones at Marquette, it makes me a Marquette fan.
It does me too. So where are we playing this at?
Oh, buddy. We're going to do this one at Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. You know it well. You know it well from Giannis.
That's not where they normally play, is it?
Marquette.
They always play there?
Marquette and the Bucks share Fiserv Forum, similar to the way the Grizzlies and Tigers share FedEx Forum.
I'll go with the Golden Eagles, correct?
What is Marquette Golden Eagles. They used to be the, I think, Warriors.
I thought there was a change there.
We reached a point where Warriors started offending people.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Well, for that reason,
can't have no basketball team named Warriors.
Well, for that reason, I'm taking the Marquette Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me them.
Marquette minus 10.5. Bennett says lay that big number. Tip off
big.
8 o'clock FS1.
What are we watching on TV?
I mean, I'm a movie guy now.
I know you are, man. I really like that. I like this 2025 development.
Oh, man, I can't wait to come in here, man. Wait till Monday. I'm going to have a new movie to talk to you about.
Oh, the Golden Globes will be in 5. That's my 5 things.
Okay,
I'm just going to go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead and mark that down.
I'm going to go ahead and put that in at number 3. I'm going to go ahead and slot that in at number 3. Honora starring Mikey Madison.
Mm-hmm. I want to see it really bad.
I'm a big fan of Mikey Madison.
Yeah, me too. What'd you rent that on?
Apple TV Plus. Apple.
Is it still sitting there?
Yeah, can you get it?
Maybe I can get a login later. Try to get in there. Check that out.
Bennett, I'd be happy to give you my Apple login.
Okay.
Get in there and get it. Mike, I've seen some people compare it to Pretty Woman because there's sort of that.
It's a rags to riches.
Well, it ain't quite as it doesn't go as smoothly.
Gotcha.
Doesn't go as smoothly. But it is, the premise is Mikey Madison is a young girl from Brooklyn. She's working in a strip club. She meets a young Russian man who is the son of an oligarch. So tons of money.
Oh.
And then the story takes off from there.
Oh.
It's good.
Okay.
It's fun. It's sort of dark, but also funny.
Oh, I like that.
And then it's got the type of ending that makes you think. Like the type of ending where you go, what do you think about
What's
that?
going on here?
What do you think about
I like that.
What do you think about that? I give it 2 thumbs up. It could win Best Picture. Mikey Madison could win she could win everything.
She's going to be nominated. There's no doubt. She's nominated for a Globe, but she's going to be nominated for an Oscar.
I thought she flourished in this role.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm a big fan.
I want to see that.
And then we got SmackDown tonight at 7 o'clock. It's the last SmackDown before the first Raw on Netflix on Monday.
SmackDown's become Raw. It's a 3-hour show.
I don't like it.
Raw is the new SmackDown. I think these brands are flip flopping.
I don't like 3 hours of live wrestling.
Me either.
It's just too much.
It's
like
way too much.
Here's the thing. I want to keep up with it, but I don't really want to keep up with it that bad.
I don't either.
I want to keep up with it, but I don't want to watch 3 hours.
I don't either.
Give me a nice 2-hour wrestling show, and I'm happy with that. 3 hours. I can't commit to 3 either.
I'm sorry.
I will commit to 3, but I don't enjoy it. Here's what I'm saying. I'll do it, but I don't enjoy it. I don't want it. I didn't ask for it, and I don't enjoy it, but I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
All right.
What's the best thing we've read?
Drew Hill had a nice piece, Daily Memphian, about the possibility that Cam Spencer and Pat Spencer could become the latest brothers to play against each other in an NBA game tomorrow night. When the Grizzlies visit the Warriors, you didn't even know Pat Spencer was a person.
Had no idea.
Cam Spencer's got a brother. His name's Pat.
Okay.
He also plays basketball.
Okay.
Not a lot. He didn't get the game a lot. But sometimes he does.
Okay.
He played last night.
Where did he play?
Northwestern.
I had no idea.
Yeah, it's not something you should have known.
Okay.
It's not something you needed to know.
Look at Drew Hill going out and getting the scoop.
That's what Drew Hill does.
That's pretty good.
That's what Drew Hill does.
A nice little tidbit right there.
That's what Drew Hill does. That's what Drew Hill does. So Cam Spencer and Pat Spencer, one of them plays for the Grizzlies. That's Cam. Pat plays for the Warriors. Grizzlies and Warriors play tomorrow night in San Francisco. And given that the Grizzlies are banged up, and given that Pat Spencer played like last night for the Warriors, there's at least a chance. Some would say better than good that Cam and Pat Spencer could find themselves in the same NBA game tomorrow night. That would be cool. If you want to read about it, you can find it. DailyMemphian.com. Drew Hill is your author.
What's on tap next week?
Well, on Monday, we'll be looking back at a Grizz weekend, getting ready for Grizz Mavericks, looking back at Tigers North Texas, getting ready for college football playoff semifinals. NFL regular season will be in the books. We'll know exactly where the Titans are picking come Monday, won't we?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yep.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Big weekend.
I can't wait. It is a big weekend. Hey, it's good to have you back in studio, Ben.
It's good to be here, man.
This was our first time in studio together in 2025. That old Jessica Benson was wild with them notes apps, wasn't she?
I know. That got a little wild.
I didn't know it like that.
I didn't know it was like that either.
I didn't know it was like that.
Fascinated, though.
Yeah, I'm fascinated, too. I didn't know it was like that, though. I didn't know she was battling those things.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You called her gross. I told her she wasn't.
I did not. I said her cough was gross a year ago.
I reassured her. Don't worry about it, Bennett. I reassured her. Don't worry about it. I know what she needed to hear.
Whatever.
I know what she needed to hear. I took care of it. You don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right? Enjoy your weekend. I'll enjoy mine. Meet back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good, rep your hood.